Welcome, everybody, and welcome to a thrift store. This is not a Goodwill. This is not a Salvation Army or anything, which I haven't been to the Salvation Army in a while. We're in the city of Los Gatos, which is right up against the city of San Jose, and we're going over to one of their local thrift stores. They don't have a Goodwill here in their city, but they have this thrift store. I believe it's, if I remember correctly, the Happy Dragon or the Lucky Dragon. Something with a dragon. Happy Dragon, I believe. A little local thrift store in this town. I'm going to go ahead and take you on a little adventure and kind of... Yeah, my bearings are way off here because I don't come here that often. I can't remember the last time I was actually here. But they have a good mixture of glass, lots of clothes, lots of women's clothes. They do have shoes, toys, hard goods. They do a little bit of everything. And I didn't realize, but today is a sale day, so there's a few people in here. But Los Gatos, for those of you that don't know, is a bit of a higher end little city, town. The median average, what do you call it? Home value is $2.2 million. So you would think, let's go to a thrift store there, and there's probably some great items. And there probably is. I don't have that much time here today, so I'm just kind of scanning through stuff. I'm going to pick up a few things. But this thrift store, they do know what they get for the most part. So a lot of things will be priced up. There will be some items with a little eBay printout next to it. So they kind of know what they're doing pricing-wise. But we're going to see if we can catch them. Usually here at this store, I have good luck with clothing. I'm not going to go through any women's clothing today because that section is, the biggest one here. It's a little overwhelming. But we are going to tackle some men's clothes. And right now I'm just kind of, I was looking for like some more toys. We're in the kids' clothes section. It is a fairly large store. And it's packed. It's really got a lot of stuff in here. But I just happened to be in the area, and now that I'm rewatching this, I should have looked at those ties over there. I just sold the Vineyard Vines little bow tie for like $60. Picked up at the flea market for probably less than $5. Got it in a bundle deal. Miscellaneous toys. Nothing really super exciting here in the toys. Like I said, this thrift store, though, is really good for clothing. They do have a lot of clothing here. And mostly women's clothes. And they'll have a lot of designer stuff. There's a lot of designer stores here in this little city. A lot of boutiques. And so you'll find a lot of higher end stuff here. It's just you got to make sure stuff in the glass is definitely going to be priced up. Some of the glassware towards the front is going to be priced up. So, which is why I say usually it's the clothing that I kind of go after when I'm here. And that's also why I don't really come to this one that often, because I'm not really into clothes. I don't really find a lot of enjoyment in reselling clothes, so I don't really do it. But to show you guys a little something different, I'm here now. I was in the area, so I'm here. So let's take a look at some shirts. I definitely do. I do pick up some shirts off camera, and we'll definitely go over everything in the recap here that I picked up. But here's a nice little Apple shirt. Apple Care. I wasn't sure if it was actually an employee shirt or not because it was on a Hanes tag. So I'm guessing it was probably an employee shirt, but I'm not 100% sure. But a nice like burnt orange t-shirt. There was some little baskets in the front, which I should have grabbed. There's no you know, rolling carts here or anything like that. Thought this shirt was interesting, but didn't think it was interesting enough to pick up. There's a shirt dedicated to the dog, the Akita dog. And I'm scanning the tag. Let's get an older tag. It's probably a vintage shirt, but I don't think it'll really go for too much. Hollister. Excuse me. I saw this shirt up here just kind of hanging out, but it's nothing. I think it's from a local winery. If you are in the area, there is a great winery. It's called Testarossa. The wine is delicious. Great wine. But they have, like a lot of wineries. They have tours and they'll have little snacks and stuff like that. But great little winery if you're in the area. Well, I don't think it's a little winery, but it's a winery. And I got some nothing. I do pull a few shirts out of here. There are some shirts that that will do well. Some that have some items already sold. So I was unfamiliar with this tag, so I'm gonna give it a look up. It seems like it's decently made. I'm definitely going to take a look and see what the solds are on this. And you know what? Doesn't look very good. So I'm going to skip right over that. Some sort of print, Georgetown. So I do pick up a couple of more shirts from there. I'll show you in the recap the shirts I ended up getting and ended up finding. But we're turning our sights over to the sweaters here. And I thought that was Netflix, but it was something weird. I didn't know what that was really. But I'm checking the tags here, scoping out the tags. I saw something here, Lyle and Scott from, and it said cashmere, and it said made in Scotland or from Scotland. A pretty well-made sweater. It is a bit of a bigger sweater. And so I'm definitely going to look it up. And, to my surprise, it actually does pretty well. It's probably somewhere between $30 and $40 is what it'll sell for. But as you can see from the comps here, Lyle and Scott, something to look out for. Now, I've never come across it before, so I recognized the quality as I was flipping through them. So we're definitely going to pick that up. I'm just going to check it out, make sure there's no holes or rips or any significant staining or anything like that. But I don't really see too much there. Gonna double check the comps really quick, and it's kind of like it's getting towards the end of the year, so the weather's gonna start changing. Definitely see this being used out on the golf course. It's kind of light yet kind of fitted a little bit. We're going to scan through here. As you can see, the men's section is pretty tiny. It's not that big. The women's section takes up the bulk of the clothing in this store. But the prices are pretty good for a lot of this stuff. Random Old Navy. I don't really see Old Navy here. But here's an LL Bean. A vintage LL Bean made in the USA jacket. Fleece jacket. Really nice. I'm just going to check it out really quick. I'm not up to date with... I know LL Bean, vintage LL Bean stuff does well, but I'm just not up to date with, what they currently go for. And based on the sold comps, and also, too, this was a size large, but it was a large tall. So, it falls into that big and tall category. And I already sold that, so I have I'll go over a little more information on that at the end of the video, towards the end of the video. But I did already sell this jacket, and I mean it sold almost instantly the moment I listed it. So I'm very happy with that sale, very happy with that pickup. And then sport, you know, just dress coats, sport coats. I'm not really into selling those, so we're gonna pass up those. And I was going to check out the hats here. No, I'm not really into selling button shirts or anything like that. If I had more time, maybe I would have gone through this stuff, but I didn't really have too much time today. But we're going to scan. I definitely want to check out the glass here. I did pull some vintage iPod stuff out of here on a previous trip, so I want to take a look and see what they got. But nothing too exciting, and like I said, it does tend to be priced up a bit once it's here in the glass. So I tend to just, if I am here, I'll scan through stuff, look through, you know, the hard goods. But my primary focus here, if I do come here, is just the clothing. There were some little routers back there, which they were priced at $20, and they probably, for a set of those little white squares, they go for right around $50-ish. But then again, I have to test them all, make sure they work, make sure they all have power supplies. And for $20, I mean, I wanted a better deal. If I'm going to go through all that, I definitely want a better deal on those routers. But they do go well. If you find them for cheap. I believe they're the Orbi ones. But a set of 3, you know, goes for right around $50 of that model. Trying to look in here at everything else, but it's kind of just trying to make sense of what's in there. Here's another glass case. We have a bunch of American Dolls. Those are all priced up. You know, they know what American Doll is here. They're not gonna, they don't usually let it slip through, so they're gonna price those up. Star Wars figures, some other miscellaneous dolls. And just kind of double checking this glass over here, make sure, you know, I kind of just scan through everything, because there's a lot in here. And if there was, like, you know, if I had, like I said, if I had a little more time and there was someone there, I would definitely ask them to see if I can go through that, just to kind of poke around and see what else is in the back. But I wanted to go look on the opposite side just to see what's there in the glass section. Here we are in a little kitchenware. And like miscellaneous stationery stuff. So here we go to like the pottery and the glassware. The good glassware is going to be towards the front. This is going to be more the like utilitarian kind of everyday glassware. But there will be some good stuff out here from time to time. But they do a really good job of sorting through the, you know, what's valuable and what's not, what's, you know, what still has value, but it's more just, you know, kind of like what you would call like your bread and butter pieces, not your bolo pieces. Those bolo pieces will be toward the front, and they'll be priced like a bolo because they got the bolo here. Etched glass something. And really, I'm just trying to see if they missed anything, if they, you know, put something back here that does have value that they kind of just missed, but not seeing it. I don't have a flow or a pattern that I follow here at this thrift store. I just don't come here that often enough. But as you can see, I mean, they have a lot of great stuff here. They do have a lot of good stuff, and you could definitely spend time here. Also, too, the other thing, their hours are kind of weird, and generally they're only open on certain days, and they're only open from like 11 to 3 or 4. It is what the time is. Little remote control, little electronic section back here. Tell you what, I can't leave a thrift store without a keyboard. I try to always grab a keyboard. I think you guys seen me pick up this brand before. This is Kinesis ergonomic keyboard, and I didn't see the price right off the bat, but it turned out to be $650. But like I said, they were running a sale today, so that's going to be a good pickup right there. Probably $30, maybe $40 for that keyboard. I'm going to test it all out. It's actually more geared towards Mac users, but I mean, you can still use it on a keyboard, but it has more like the keys that are dedicated towards Mac computers. Miscellaneous cords, just checking everything out, making sure that I've never pulled any good like tech or electronics out of here. I don't know if they just don't get it in here or they send it somewhere else. They are associated with another thrift store. I can't remember. I don't remember exactly which thrift store they're associated with, but they are associated with another thrift store. And that thrift store, I've actually never been to it, even though it's closer to me than this thrift store is. But one of these days, it's just the hours. Some of the hours on these like independent thrift stores are just kind of, you know, right when you think you figured it out, it's like all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, I thought they were open on this day. I thought they were closed on this day. I thought they were open at this time. Wait a second, why are they closed? and then you're all mixed up. This is their media. A few games there. Nothing exciting in their gaming department. I thought this was this is the old Avengers on VHS on TV. Not Marvel Avengers, but another type of Avengers. Not super familiar with it. I do recognize it, but I'm not. I never really watched it. I think I've seen some clips of it, but you know, I was more into Marvel Avengers comics. So I thought these people were the knockoff Avengers. And not really finding it, so I'm just going to type in a couple more keywords here to see. It turns out not to be really. Turns out to be maybe an $8 sale with free shipping. Nah, not for me. Yeah, nothing good there in the games. Yeah, miscellaneous DVDs and CDs, not really that great. But you see the prices are really good for that stuff here. Their clothing prices, media prices are definitely better than Goodwill's. Especially when you come on a sale day. I didn't know it was a sale day, so I just so happened to be in the area during their day of having a sale. You can see some clear glass. Cake pans. Now we're moving towards the front here. I'm just going to quickly walk through this, you know, front glass, pottery, jewelry. This would be the higher end stuff, and it's priced accordingly as well too. So, yeah, I mean there are some really nice pieces in there, but I just can't, you know, pay the price they're asking and try to resell it. I wouldn't make any money. Interesting piece of art there. There's the jewelry section here. That necklace right there, that's, wow. Is that $125? It says vintage Avon. $125 for vintage Avon? It is really nice. It is a stunning necklace and earring set. But for $125, Avon? I'm gonna do a little bit more research on it. But I don't know. Again, $125 Avon? I have some Avon jewelry up for sale in my eBay store. It's not moving. Could be moving out of my store soon. And there we go. Just a little gavel down there. Some interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like this thrift store? Do you have anything like this in your area? You want me to go back? I can definitely go back. Go check it out. You know, maybe add it to my route. Maybe go check out some women's clothes. If you do want to see that, drop a comment down below if you guys are interested in any of that and seeing this again. You want to buy that 125 Avon piece? I'll do a little more research on it and see if it's worth anything. But we're going to wrap up this trip and then go into the recap here. All right, welcome to the recap, guys. I hope you liked that little thrift store there. Kind of unique, in a unique little town. But here we go with what we got there. This is a Masters t-shirt. I don't want the color to get all weird on the camera, but it's a t-shirt. It's a polo. There's a little Masters thing right there. And this is a Clubhouse collection made in Italy. A good size, extra large. So when I do buy shirts and clothing, I will try to get the bigger size. You know, start with large, extra large, 2X, 3X. Does really well. And this shirt, probably about, like I said, there was a sale there. It was $3 a shirt. So this came out to under $3, and it should go for like $15, $17 for this shirt right here. So pretty cool. Then what else we get? I'll put that right there for now. Then of course I'm grabbing employee shirts. This is an Apple Care employee t-shirt, and it's like a burnt orange. Kind of looks like the University of Texas color there. Yeah, I think it is the University of Texas color. That's pretty cool. It's a nice shirt. I mean, I might keep it for myself. 2X, so good size. Good size. It's a Hanes. It's a thicker cotton. I kind of like the color. This thing about orange. I might keep it for myself. I'm not even an Apple guy, so we'll see. It's like $15 shirt, so $15. So we're looking at. So not bad on the profit side. It's not the 15 to 20 that I shoot for. But it was just such a low cost. And I just happened to be there in the area. And why not? Why not make a little bit of money? Probably more like a $10 profit on that guy. Now this is a vintage shirt, and you'll see there, it's got the polar bears. I'm guessing, I couldn't find exact comps on this, so I'm guessing it's probably going to be about $20. So not bad. This will be more at the $15 profit that we like to be at for this type of shirt. I might push this a little bit higher just because it is an old school SeaWorld shirt. It's got the polar bears on it, bears. Official, what does it say? Official product of SeaWorld on that. The white just got all crazy on my camera. I don't know. I got to keep my head up. The moment when I look down, I think that changes the camera starts to pick up. I think the back. I should get like a backdrop for myself here, just because when it picks up that white back there, it just everything just starts to go white. But here's the tag here. Made in the USA. Extra large, good size. We'll see. I'm guessing it's probably gonna go for like $20 or so. So we got that one there. Then we got the vintage Tommy Hilfiger. The striped pattern polo shirt there, pretty cool. This is probably about a $21 polo. I'll do a little bit more research on it, but I think that's probably where it's going to be at. But just a nice little polo. Really cool. Then we kind of get into the heavy hitters here. So these other ones are definitely going to pay for what, I paid for everything. Which is why I don't think I mentioned the total or not, but it was 20... What was it? 20... $24 on all this stuff here. So this this sweater right here should pay for all that. I did have to look up the brand because I was not familiar with it. But Lyle and Scott, and this should be like 35 to 40 bucks. It is a touch of cashmere, made in Scotland, V-neck blue sweater, and this will be perfect because it's probably more made or geared towards golfing. Let's see if it has a tag on the inside here. It does, but it's not really much of anything. Interesting. But it's a V-neck blue sweater, good size. Matter of fact, we don't even know the size. What the? All right, I'll have to figure out what the size is. I'm just gonna do some measurements. We're gonna measure the sleeve length from the top here. See where the end of this line here ends, and then starts to go down into the armpit area. So you just kind of measure from that top area. This one's kind of got a weird seam. Was it weird or no? Or is it just me? Okay, it doesn't really have. Okay, because typically, like on shirts, you would see a seam that ends here. Let me show you really quick on this one. I don't want the color to get all weird on the camera. I might have made a weird face there on the camera. Okay, so check out this shirt right here. So how this shirt here, you have this area right here. So that's the top of the shoulder. So you would measure from here to the end of this one, and that'll give you your sleeve length. And then, on the front, you would measure from here, top by the neck, all the way down to the end to get the length of the shirt. So I'll just take a few measurements, and I'll look up online like what those measurements translate to in a large, extra large. Because this might not have that because it's not, it's made in Scotland, so that's why it probably doesn't have a size tag on it. I'm guessing. I'm not really 100% sure, but like 35, 40 bucks for this guy right here. So not bad, not a bad sweater. It's gonna pay for all our stuff here. And then the jacket. This is probably about 60 bucks here. I'm gonna do a little bit more research on the comps, but it's an LL Bean. Vintage, made in the USA, and especially with fall, winter coming here, jackets are going to start to go, and they're going to start to go pretty quick. But just a nice green, moss green, forest green, LL Bean. It has just padded on the inside. It'd be cool if it was padded on the outside. It'd probably be worth a little bit more, but I think have extra padding there? No, it doesn't have extra padding. It's just kind of got like an elbow, seam where your elbow would go. Kind of strange. But either way, a nice, made in the USA, LL Bean jacket. And of course, I can't leave any thrift store without buying a keyboard. And I just so happened to find a keyboard there. And this is that brand. I've talked about it before. You've seen me buy it before. But it's all weird here. The Kinesis. So these are ergonomic. As you can see, it's like a split. These are ergonomic keyboards, and just made so that way you can, kind of just fit your hand style. How you would normally type. You guys can't see that because I just put it on my lap really quick. But you can kind of just adjust it to suit your typing style. So that way your hands aren't making any weird or contorted or anything like that. You can just if your hands sit normally like this, you can adjust these so that way you can do like that. If your hands, if you like them straight out, you can set them up so they're just straight out like a standard keyboard. If you want a little bit more space in between them, you can do that as well too. So cool keyboard. About 40 bucks on this keyboard. I paid $6.25 for this keyboard. So pretty cool. Got some cool finds. A cool new place. It's not a Goodwill. It's not a flea market. It's just another type of there's a funny clicking sound going on here in the garage, and I cannot figure out what it is. I don't know if you guys hear that on the camera. I'm gonna have to go digging around seeing what that is. Might be some sort of electronic that's on or something. Otherwise, those are the items we picked up. We'll go ahead and go into the topic of the day. Okay, so jumping in here really quick before we go upstairs and discuss the topic. But we're going to talk about sell-through rate. I had a topic in mind, but I'll discuss it. I will discuss it a little bit later, but it's not really what my channel is about. You'll hear about that in a little bit. But I want to talk about sell-through rate. I just was at this thrift store yesterday. I already have 2 items already gone out the door. Everything's already paid for. Everything I paid for it is all covered. I'm already in profit. So I think it's important. Sell-through rate is very important. I know some people, they don't really look at sell-through rate. I know some people are razor focused on sell-through rate. And I think you do need a mixture of both. You need, and when I mean sell-through rate, I mean just how fast that item's going to sell. Is it a long tail item? Is it a short tail item? What kind of business do you have? What kind of business model do you have set up? But here's a couple of things I picked up. I don't like doing clothes, so the fact that I was over there. So that thrift store, for me, is really great. If you're into vintage clothing, especially women's clothing, that store is amazing. And just clothing in general. And so I pulled a few vintage pieces out for the men's section, just because women's section is not really, it's not really my thing. I mean, I have found some great pieces there before, but I would just went straight to the men. I only had a limited amount of time, as you heard. But I got this Apple Care shirt. It's a 2XL. It's got like a burnt orange, almost like a Texas, University of Texas orange. There's the tag right there. I listed this last night. It sold sometime while I was asleep, $15. And I picked it up for, if you take everything as a whole, like everything I bought there, it comes out to like $3.71 for each piece that I bought. And I think this shirt was actually less. I think the shirt was probably like around $2.50 or so. They were running a sale. So, but that out the door for $15. So quick $15 sale. Probably like $9 profit or so. I'll have to double check on my phone. But when I go upstairs, I'll have some more concrete numbers for you guys on the exact amount that I made. But the heavy hitter right here, well, not heavy hitter, but depends how you look at it. This LL Bean vintage jacket made in the USA. It is a large, big and tall. Oop. Look up. Keep my camera up. Big and tall. So it's a tall. And that went out the door for $43. I listed it last night for $75. I think the comps were probably going to be around $60, but I couldn't find that exact jacket. And because it's a big and tall, it's a large tall, I listed it for a little bit more. Best offer. Someone shot me an offer from Oregon within about 10 minutes of me listing it. They sent me an offer for $43. I got a great deal on it. I paid, technically, for the jacket, it was I think it was $6 for the jacket, so I got a pretty good deal on it. But if you look at the overall what I purchased, 6 items divided by like $25 and some change, it came out to about $3.71 for each item in that purchase as a whole. So, I ended up making quite a bit on this jacket, and I'm more than happy to offer a deal to someone, especially if I got a great deal on it. If I got a great deal on it, and I did on this jacket, I'm making good money on this jacket, I'm more than happy to accept a lower offer than perhaps comps would tell me otherwise. And just to make that quick sale, and boom, it's out the door already. It's already gone. 10 minutes. Gone. So I'm working on packaging these things up really quick, and then I'm going to go upstairs and we'll dive a little bit deeper. Okay, so you saw the 2 items that are out the door. Now, I wasn't intending to show this video this quickly. I am bumping it up in the rotation of my video release because I was going to speak towards the current lawsuits that Amazon and eBay are facing. I was finally able to go through all the information. I heard a few people's opinions regarding that. But I'll mention it at the end, but I'm not going to do the deep dive I thought I was. That's not what this channel's about. I want to be more solution-based type of, and that doesn't really lead to anything, necessarily solution-wise. I want to try to, help people make sales. I want to show people how to navigate the thrift stores, the flea markets, how to, what you should be, what items are selling, what's selling right now, what's taking a while to sell. So I wanted this channel to be more geared towards that, more education on that, more assistance on that side of things. But and hopefully some entertainment too. Hopefully you guys are entertained with watching me go through the thrift stores. You can compare your thrift stores to my thrift stores. And then if you guys ever are in the area, if you guys ever visit, here where I live, when I travel, like when I go to Reno, we go to Reno, we've been out to Texas, we just can't help it. We go to thrift stores. We'll go check them out and see what they're like. And they're so different. You would think Goodwills are the same in every, even between cities are completely different. And, hopefully, if you guys ever are out this area, the Bay Area, California, and you guys will get a sense of what to look for if you guys are interested in doing that on a vacation, on a business trip. If you guys are looking to go to a Goodwill or a flea market, you'll kind of get a sense of what it's like, and hopefully it helps you guys. But the topic of the day is sell-through rate and why it's important and why you should be looking in your eBay app to check items that you're buying that you're not sure of. So, I'm at the store, I'm going through clothes. I don't usually go through clothes, so I don't stay up to date with what's trending, what's going on. And it's always just a good idea to look and see what is currently selling. Now, the sell-through rate, I don't really go into the numbers. I know some people have, you take what's sold and you take what's listed, you divide it, and then you get the percentage. I don't do that. I don't crunch the numbers while I'm there. I'm looking at, first of all, is there first and foremost, is there a proven sales history? You've heard me say this before, a proven sales history. Because then what that means is there's a customer base for that item, that particular item, or that particular brand, or that particular style. There is a customer base for it. So there's proven sales. There's a proven history that people are buying this, whatever it is you have. It could be like the Star Wars clapper. Now, then you have to look over to see what's currently listed. Now, what's currently listed, that is your competition. Those are all the other sellers that are on the platform that have that item listed, that are competing for the same buyers, competing for the same customers. Now, you could go dive even deeper and sort by price. What are the lowest prices? What are the highest prices that are currently listed? You could look into it to see what's sold, what is it currently sold for, what is it sold for in the past, and start breaking down your numbers. But then now you're talking about a lot of time. Now you're talking about, oh man, you're in the thrift store, you're looking something up, and now you're trying to go through all these numbers. You really have to look at it quickly and to determine whether or not you're going to buy that item or not. And when you see me go through there, sometimes I do spend a little bit of time, a little bit of investigative work. But if I'm moving through there and I need inventory, I will move, quick, fast. Sometimes I'll just take a Google image search and I'll just see what's out there. Now, something like this little clapper. I mean, it's a clapper. The on-off, clap, on-off. All of us have the smart switch of yesteryear. But it's got a lot of going for it. First of all, it's kind of vintage. It's not vintage per se, but the clapper is a vintage item. And then it's Darth Vader, it's Star Wars. So it's not just Star Wars, but it's Darth Vader, one of the most popular characters. So something very easy to look up. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking first, are there any solds? I'm looking recently. Are there any recent sold? What's the recent history? So you're doing your research. You're doing your market research on that item. You're like, okay. And it's so easy. I mean, companies, pay so much money to do market research. You do market research on if you're going to try to, launch a product, you're going to have to do tests and see what the market, if the market wants this item, first of all, and the market are your customers. are the customer, our people, our consumers. So the most recent, well, I look at the most recent to see, is this selling right now? Then I move over, quickly see, okay, what's listed? What's my competition looking like? And I'll quickly scroll. If you scroll quickly, like all the way to the top, generally towards the bottom of the app, it'll give you a number of how many are actually listed. Now, when it comes to unique items, something like, I keep pulling this out, but something like the clapper or something like these tins, you're not gonna see too many listed. The best case scenario is to have current solds and little to none currently listed, because that means there's a demand, but there's no supply. So that puts you in a situation where you could ask probably a little bit more than the going rate because there's none currently listed. And I've done that before, and I think I've talked about that before. So keeping an eye on what is recently selling, because that's also going to tell you what's currently trending as well too. If that item is currently in demand, or more specifically, if it's currently like in people's minds, like you see 4 or 5 solds of something, you see this little this pottery piece, and you're like, oh man, there's like 10 solds like in the last week. I better get mine up and listed. So it's kind of a hot item. Like I better get this listed quick, because then you can scroll through the other ones and get later and later, and you can see maybe a month ago or 2 months ago, maybe it's something related to a movie that just came out. I like the Barbie movie. A lot of Barbie stuff was pretty hot, and so leading up to it, and then right after it. But things have kind of cooled off in that space. So any Barbie stuff now might take a little bit longer to sell. So, and why is sell-through rate so important? It's because you're getting your money back, first of all, that you paid for that item. Hopefully, hopefully you're not taking a loss, and hopefully you're making a profit. So you're not only getting your money back, so you can reinvest it into other products or supplies for your business, and then you're making that profit, which will help continue to fund your purchasing of inventory, or if you need stuff for your business, if you need boxes, if you need shipping supplies, because you got to start shipping stuff out. You need those supplies, so you need that money back. Now, I prefer a mixture of fast selling items, a fast sell-through rate, and I prefer slow sell-through rate. The problem with slow sell-through rate, especially when you're first beginning, is you're not going to see that money back very quickly. And for me, something that's slow is something that sells maybe once a week, once every couple weeks. You'll have to make that determination yourself as to how you define long tail. When do you want to see that money back? Do you want to see it back in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Are you fine sitting on something for 2 or 3 months? That's going to be, what you decide to do ultimately with your business. You could build up a business on all long tail items, and there's a lot of companies that just deal in items that don't sell that quickly, but you gotta have space for a lot of inventory, because if you want to be consistently bringing in money, you need those long tail items that maybe you purchased 6-7 months ago to start selling now, because you're buying more long tail items that are probably going to sit there for 2, 3, 4 months. So you have to take that into consideration. Now, if you're first starting out, if you're a beginner, if you're just learning the ropes, look towards fast-selling items. Look at items that are popular. I go on Google Trends. Take a look at Google Trends. And they'll tell you kind of what people are looking up, what people are actively searching for on the internet. And you can buy items around that and hopefully try to appeal to those customers that are currently, searching for stuff. And so something that may be like a what you would think would be a fast seller, something that you think is popular, might not be the case. It might not be. You might be in the thrift stores and you might be looking at stuff. You might be like, oh man, what's something that's been sticking around? Okay. What's something? Let me find something right here. You might think, okay, here's something interesting right here. Well, that's not very cool, I guess. That's kind of just, fluff. Let me find something here. Just, let me take for instance. Okay, let's take this tin right here, tin lunchbox. This is a Marvel Secret Wars vintage tin. Not only that, but look at that. It has the thermos in it too. Cool. So we paid $12 for this lunchbox in particular. However, there are some sold comps up in the $80, $90, $100 range. So I went ahead and priced this at $100, open up best offer. Now, once you start pricing stuff a bit higher, you will notice that those items tend to sell a little bit slower. Not everybody's willing to pull the trigger on an item that, is up $50, $60, $70. Well, that will lead me into the next quick topic, really quick, that I'll touch on. But this, in my opinion, is more of a long tail item. But it has a lot of stuff going for it, and I've talked about this before. It has Marvel, it has Secret Wars, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America. It's not a Disney product, but Disney currently owns Marvel, so you can throw Disney in the title. So it has a lot of keywords, and all those keywords are, Disney's always trending, Marvel's always trending, comics are always trending. All these things are constantly you always hear about them. It's a huge part. It's a huge category. There's several categories. It eclipses several different, it touches on several different, not categories, but several different topics that people are in love with. So then you would think, okay, that item's going to sell pretty quickly. But let me tell you, based on the history of items I've sold, that's probably going to go in about, if I had to guess, about a month and a half. It's going to take a little while. And part of that is the pricing. That leads me to the next topic, brief topic, because I do want to touch on the lawsuits really quickly. And that's pricing. Now, once you start talking, once you get in the range of about, I'm not really into, or I wouldn't recommend you guys selling anything really low price, anything below $5. But when you talk about $5 to $20, you're talking about impulse items. When you think of impulse items, think of those items when you're at the store that are right at the register. Look and see what those items are priced at. They're usually priced, well, in a grocery store, they'd be priced pretty low. It's like gum, stuff like that, 99 cents, $1, $2. Those are impulse buys. Those are quick. They're trying to grab your attention, so you bet, oh, I might need that, and it's only $1. I'll pick it up, boom, sell it. So what I try to do is try to get those impulse items in between $5 to $20. And I'm trying to get items that will, I'm not sure what I have this priced at. I'll have to look it up. But I'm trying to price this. I would try to price this probably below $20 to try to get it sold quick. Try to get somebody to look at it and be like, hey, I remember the clapper. I like Star Wars. I like Darth Vader. That's pretty cool. I'm going to buy that really quick. Boom, click and buy. That's what I'm trying to appeal to when it's under $20. And I also don't put best offer on those because, those are typically tend to be lower profit items. And usually I buy them in, I buy big lots of stuff. And those will be the little, the little items that come with the big lot. And I'll just try to move them to move them along my store. Keep my store going. And keep money coming in. So then we have those items that are, then we have the long tail items as far as price goes, which are, in my opinion, between 20 and 50, in my opinion, is a little bit of the gray area. It still could be impulse buy area. But based on, what I bought and sold before, I don't really think it's necessarily an impulse area. But, once you get over $50, I think that's more of a, let me stop and think about that purchase. But if you have enough of those items in your store and you have enough eyes looking at it, there's going to be someone that will eventually make that purchase. I just sold a lantern, which I got for $10, sold for $138. And that lantern's been sitting there now for about, I got that back in July. So what is that? Like 2.5 months ago or so. So I sold, as a matter of fact, I sold 2 lanterns. I bought all these lanterns for $10 a piece. I sold one lantern almost immediately for $220. Then I sold another lantern, about a day or two later for $180. And now I'm moving another lantern for $138. So I already made my money back. So I'm comfortable sitting on the other lanterns. I have one more. But everybody's impulse buy, like what they can afford to purchase without thinking about it, is different. And what everybody has to think about is different as well, too. But generally, impulse buys, in my opinion, I keep it between $5 to $20. And then 20 to 40 is kind of just a gray area that I get a lot of the sales in that area. But then 50 plus and is definitely, in my opinion, a stop and think about it, more of a long tail item. And I will buy them. If I get them for the right price, I will buy them. And I know already they're going to sit for a while. But I have enough built up in my store. I have enough short tail items, enough to make me money quickly, built up in my store, where I just have constant sales of those. And then I have those long tail items where I'll get like 1, 2, 3 sales of those. The gray area, I don't, those sell pretty routinely too. So I guess the gray area is an impulse buy, because I just had several of those, several within that area sell for me. Just they sell pretty routinely every day. So, but I consider it a gray area. So to wrap it all up, sell-through rate is very important in the beginning, especially, so that way you get cash flow going. Once you get that cash flow going, then you can start to look towards long tail items, higher priced items, to help give you a boost in your daily sales, because you're not going to have those higher priced items sell all the time. So you can have like a few $15, $20 sales. Boom, boom, we have like 3 or 4 of them. Then all of a sudden, boom, here's a $100 item, $150 item, $200 item hit. And then that gives you that little bit of a boost in sales for that day. Then you slowly build up your store with a few, I don't know if there's a certain ratio, that'd be up to you to decide. I don't know what my ratio is as far as short-term items or short tail items. Or fast sell-through rate is what a lot of, what it's called, fast sell-through rate items and lower sell-through rate items. I don't know what that ratio would be. I don't really keep track of it. I just look for cool stuff that I know has a proven sales history, and I look for items that sell quickly, so that way I can keep my store moving, and I look for a good amount of items that I know that are going to be those big hits, those bolos everybody's talking about. You got to look for those bolos. So, I have a good mixture of everything, a good mixture of that, a good mixture of short tail, and I think it's important for your store to have a little bit of both. But in the beginning, if you're just getting started, if you're having slow sales, if you're being discouraged by slow sales, look at sell-through rate and try to find items that are selling quickly. If you have to move to different, you got to go to different thrift stores, if you got to go to different flea markets, these items are out there. And hopefully in my videos, in other people's videos, you're seeing these items that are moving quickly, and that'll help you, fill your store with those types of items if that's what you're looking for. Okay. Lots of talking. I'm not used to so much talking. And I hope this guy is helping you guys. But either way, really quickly, I'm going to touch on the 2 lawsuits, because I don't want you guys to be worried about these things. They're going to be in the news. It's going to be big news. Everybody's going to be like, oh, Amazon's getting sued. Oh, man, eBay is getting sued now. Okay. First and foremost, eBay is getting sued by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. And they're 2 totally different lawsuits. So eBay is getting sued because of the items that have sold on their platform, which are technically banned items. One of them is like a device for a car, that helps you evade, I guess, emissions. I don't know, because I don't sell car parts. So if you don't sell car parts, you're fine. And then some of the other ones are like chemicals. You guys can definitely look it up. There are certain chemicals that are not supposed to be sold. And, eBay's a huge company. It's hard for them to police all the items that are going into their store. But the concern that I have is that perhaps it may increase the policing of items that are going into the store. It's a concern of mine. Am I going to lose sleep over it? No. I really don't sell in those areas, and I don't sell items like that, so it doesn't really concern. My inventory is not, my inventory is not scared. It's not scared inventory. It's perfectly fine. But if you do sell in some of those categories, please take a look at your inventory. I'll try to find an article and link it if I can, specifically of what the items are that are banned that you shouldn't be selling. So, keep a lookout for that. Otherwise, the Amazon one, I don't sell on Amazon, so it's not really a worry of mine, but it could be a worry to the general reselling community or selling online community, because the FTC is targeting Amazon more for their practices as a monopoly. Now, is Amazon getting punished because they are, very efficient? I don't know. That's up to the courts to decide. I like Amazon. I like the fact that I get my items really fast. And the other part of the lawsuit is that, they are seeing some customers are seeing higher prices. I can't speak to that because I'm not seeing necessarily higher prices. There may be a few cents here or there that might be higher, but not really seeing it. The part that really I'm interested in about the lawsuit is that Amazon is forcing sellers to pay higher rates or there's a higher cost to do business on Amazon. And also to the fact that if you don't send your items into what's called Amazon FBA or fulfilled by Amazon, which is you package your item up, you take your product, you got this product, you package it up. I think you get a label from Amazon, you slap a label on it, you send it off to Amazon, and they'll store it for you. And then when it sells, they'll pull it off the shelf and send it out to the customer. Now, those items end up being Prime items, and a lot of people like Prime. I mean, I like my items fast. I've talked about this on eBay. I will pay more to have my item here quicker. And so I do like having my items faster. And I guess the complaint is that, those people that do that get more of an advantage over others that do not do FBA or sell by Amazon or send their items into Amazon. More like a pay-to-play scheme. And I think they also mentioned something that Amazon has their own type of advertising or promoted listing, it would be called in eBay. So they're kind of, they mentioned that's in the lawsuit. So that's more kind of what I'm interested in. Are they squeezing sellers for every nickel and dime? And I'm interested in more what comes out of that. And because it affects, that affects sellers, that's a part of the cost of doing. Okay, I really got to get on top of the whole battery dead situation. It just died. Every time I film, I got to remember to replace the battery. But just to finish my thought on the subject really quick is, I was saying that's the cost of doing business, the fees, you have to pay for advertising. It's a part of the cost of doing business on the websites. And if there's any wrongdoing involved in any of that, I do hope that comes to light, and we will see what shakes out of that. But otherwise, that's wrapping up this video. Let me know what you guys think of that thrift store. Do you want me to go back? Do you want me to go through the women's clothing? Do you want me to just do a little bit more investigative work while I'm there? Also, too, I appreciate all the new subscribers. Thumbs up on the video, please. We're trying to build up our subscriber count and get, build up the community here. Let me know what you guys think about anything that I said here in the video. If you guys have any comments about it. My other channel will be linked down below, just shipping. So if you're interested in that, just looking at shipping, no talking, that will be linked down below. My Instagram will be linked down below as well too. If you guys have any questions, anything there, You can always DM me there. I will have on that one. I post more like I guess the bolos, you could say, the hot items I find. I just started a TikTok account, so we're going full social media. I guess I'll link that eventually once I figure out what I'll have to grab the hyperlink for that. But I'll eventually link that down below. Thank you guys for watching. Next video, I think, is back at Goodwill. All right, we'll catch you guys next one.